What's going on, guys? My name is the Sub Predicate, and yesterday, December 14th, we actually got a huge patch for Black Ops 3. Now, it happened very early in the morning, and when a patch comes out, people are usually very excited, and people are still excited for this. However, shortly after the patch was released, someone actually leaked Call of Duty points that are supposed to come out today, so people weren't as excited as they usually were. And this is a really big patch, and it has tons and tons of stuff in it, and the patch notes came out late last night, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys missed it, and I think you guys would be really interested because tons of gun things happen, tons of map, tons of score streaks were buffed, and just a bunch of stuff that are gonna make a lot of people happy. Now, before we get into it, if you guys don't know what a buff is or a nerf is, a buff is basically when something has been made slightly better. It doesn't matter how much, maybe it adds one more magazine, it's still buffed. And it's nerfed, well then it just made slightly worse, not really bad, but just something about it has changed that doesn't make it as appealing. So we're going to be starting off with, the best thing, the thing that everybody is most excited about. Doesn't matter what you're playing, multiplayer, zombies, this is very interesting to you. So first of all, we're going to be starting with the gun balancing. So some machine guns, 3 of them have been buffed to increase recoil control. Those weapons are the Kuda, the Weevil, and the Razorback. Now the Razorback also got an additional increased damage range buff. Now the Vesper, moving on to the Vesper, actually got a nerf reducing the damage range. Now the Vesper is actually, I don't want to say it's overpowered, but it actually melts everyone at close range, so that should slightly reduce it, and it doesn't really affect the zombies players because you want to be close range while you're playing zombies. And finally, the VMP got 2 nerfs. That's kind of bad. People are saying it's the most OP gun in the game. It's not really overpowered, but I could see why people might think that because it is really good. So it got reduced aim down sight speed and reduced hipfire accuracy. So the hipfire spread just slightly bigger, and the aim down sight speed is slightly slower. So if you slap on a quick draw grip and a laser sight, I think you should counteract those nerfs pretty easily. So moving on to assault rifles, we actually have a buff that affected 4 weapons, which increased recoil control. So I guess the recoil is kind of easier to handle now, and those guns were the KN-44, the HVK-30, the Man of War, and the ICR. Now the ICR also got a nerf, which reduced the hipfire accuracy. So the hipfire spread is kind of bigger. I didn't really notice it to be bigger than other assault rifles, but yeah, that got nerfed. And it also fixed the reload animation. I never ran into that problem, so I guess that's kind of a rarity, but it's fixed if it bothered you guys. Now moving on to the XR2, actually got nerfed. It actually reduced movement speed. Now the XR2 had this sort of special quality where it would move faster than other assault rifles for some reason, and I think people are complaining about it, so now it has a normal speed of an assault rifle. And last off, the MA-A7 was actually nerfed, and it has a reduced fire rate. Now moving on to the shotties, my favorite shotty, the KRM-262, actually got a buff and it got increased damage. I think this is the only weapon that actually got increased damage within this patch, and it will now be a maximum 2-shot kill. So you will not get 3-shot kills, 4-shot kills, only 2-shot kills. That's really nice. Now 2 other shotguns were buffed, increasing the damage range, which are the 205 Brecci and the Haymaker 12. Moving on, once again, we got the light machine guns. Now, the Dingo actually got 2 buffs. That's one of my favorite weapons to run a zombie, so this is kind of good news for me. It got increased movement speed while firing. That's kind of like a stock, and it also got increased recoil control. Now, the recoil, I didn't feel was too much, but, less recoil is actually way better on a gun I actually like. Now, the 48 Dredge got a nerf, which reduced the fire rate. I didn't really think it fired too fast. Well, I didn't really use it either because, it's not really my cup of tea, but there you go, guys. It also got nerfed. Now, the last category of guns to actually be affected by this patch are the pistols, and they all actually got a buff that increased the movement speed, and those guns are the MR6, the RK5, and the LCAR9. Now the RK5 also got a nerf, which reduced the damage range, and the LCAR9 on top of that buff got 2 nerfs. So the LCAR9 is kind of getting hit with this nerf banner pretty hard. It got reduced damage and reduced hipfire accuracy. Now moving on to attachments, every single attachment here has been buffed -1, which is dual wield, but we'll get into that. So first of all, starting off with the suppressor, it actually has increased damage range, which is kind of nice. The laser sight has increased hipfire accuracy on assault rifles and light machine guns, might make it kind of worth running now. And fast mags actually got buffed, straightforward, it increased the reload speed. Rapid fire also got buffed, and it changes the increase in the fire rate and not only the burst delay on the weapons. So if you guys actually used rapid fire fire on burst weapons, it would make not the burst shoot faster, but the time in between, and that wasn't really as effective as it was in past Call of Duties. So I guess they switched that up now, so you know, the time in between the burst is still the same, but the burst coming out is faster, and I think that's way better. Now the only nerf that was only for the attachments is dual wield, and I don't really use dual wield. I don't really see too many people using it, but it might be a problem. And they got reduced movement speed and reduced switched weapon speed. Moving on to equipment, there was only one nerf or one change, and that happened to the concussions, and they now have reduced stun time. Now I hear tons of people complaining about this. I never really thought it was a problem, well, probably just because I always run tac mask, but this is a really good thing for people who don't like to run tac mask and run other things. Moving on to the perks, we actually have 3 different perks that were all buffed, so that's pretty nice. So the first one is overclock, and it just increases your earn rate. So basically what overclock does is I think you get to earn your specialist faster. Now I don't know if it was too slow before, maybe it was because I don't see anyone running this besides, you know, when you first prestige, but yeah, that's there in case you guys want to try it out. Now anti-up, this is kind of what was supposed to replace hardline. I don't really like it that much anymore. I really wish hardline was here. Just take out anti-up and put back in hardline. But anyways, the buff was that it increased the starting bonus towards streak. So I think before it maybe gave you like 75. I can't be too sure on that, please don't hold me against it. So maybe now it might be like 100 or something. Now hardwired also got buffed, and it also increased the effectiveness against enemies who have 6th sense equipped. So the last things I'm going to be covering in this patch are the score streaks, and this is really damn nice because everything here is buffed and there are no nerfs. So starting off, we get the HCXC, which has increased explosive damage. Both UAV and counter AV both have increased base health. The dart actually got 4 different buffs. It got increased explosive damage for collision explosion, reduced minimum speed, handling tuning, and fixed an AI issue. Now the lightning strike has increased speed of delivery after the target selection, so I guess the explosive bombs drop faster, which should be kind of nice. The Hellstorm has increased explosive damage for cluster missiles. So you know, really the Hellstorm missile wasn't really as good as it was back in the beta. Back in the beta, it get like 5 pieces left and right. Now I'm kind of lucky to get 2 kills with it. So hopefully this will change it, bring it, you know, kind of back to where it was in the beta. Now next up, we got the Cerberus. I think it got 2 buffs. It got increased missile required to destroy, so it's harder to destroy by 1 missile, and also by EMP grenades, it also needs 1 more EMP grenade. Now the Rolling Thunder got 4 different buffs, the same as the dart, and this is kind of nice because the Rolling Thunder really isn't that worth running that much. It barely gets you any kills unless the enemy team really sucks and doesn't know how to run for cover. But the 4 buffs are: it has increased explosive damage per drone, increased explosive damage per drone, increased health per drone, and added 4 pairs of drones. Now moving on to the talent, it just has increased damage when AI controlled. The Wraith has increased base health, and the Raps have increased missiles required to destroy the deployed ship by 1, and it has more health by drone, and it has increased explosive damage per drone. Now the GI unit got tons of buffs as well. It got increased number of war machine hits required to destroy, increased duration of the GI unit, and increased recovery speed when stunned by an EMP grenade. Now the mothership was also buffed. I don't know why, it's the biggest score streak in the game. I actually haven't seen anyone run it or anyone actually earn it, so it's kind of surprised that people are actually earning it. Now the buffs are: it has increased missiles required to destroy by 2, increased explosive bullet damage for owner turret, and increased projectile speed for missiles for owner turret. But there you have it, guys. Those are all the patch notes that I really felt were relevant to cover, just because they changed the gameplay a lot, whether you're playing multiplayer or zombies. However, there were tons of stuff that I didn't really feel were necessary to talk about, but are kind of relevant if you're playing the game. Like theater mode was kind of changed, arena mode was kind of changed. There were tons of changes to the black market and supply drops, just tons of enjoyable stuff like that. I will link all of them down in the description below to the full patch notes. But there you have it, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe for more zombies videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.